Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Okay, this is a good one. How to become a counter-terrorist. Now, first, you have to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. And what it is, when we think of counter-terror, when we think of terrorists, we think of what you see on the movies. You see these gangs, militia groups, special forces of some type, and they're doing terrorist activities. And then those are the terrorists that we think of. And then when you think of counter-terrorists, most people think of special forces, I don't know if James Bond would fit in on something like that or not, but they always think these people are government trained. They get their orders from the government. I mean, the government tells them, okay, these are the terrorists and you're going to go get them, and this type of stuff. And that may be. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is terrorists, people that cause terror, that use intimidation, use violence, and to get things done a certain way. They want things. They want goals. They got goals to meet, but to meet these goals is not through negotiating. It's through terror type activities. Now, the reason I'm even saying this, I am a counter-terrorist. And it's funny because a lot of people don't believe it. And it's even funnier when police and military don't believe it. But really, what makes it really funny is when police and military come to me for advice. They come to me for lessons, classes on what to do. And the reason is, it's a different type of terrorists. That's why they come to me. It's funny because special forces people, I teach them. And the reason, at first, I couldn't understand what it was, why they would come to me. I mean, they've got access to all kinds of weapons, government support, whatever government it is. Remember, I'm in Central America, and I know you're thinking the United States government is the thing, but no. They've got these forces in every government throughout the world. And depending on what side you're on, these people are counter-terrorists or are they terrorists? So it just depends on the circumstances, the situation is what it is. And I say, I specialize in counter-kidnapping is what it is I specialize in. And this is what many people don't realize. Kidnapping is done by kidnappers, could be a gang type people that are kidnapping people. It'd be just simple I don't even know what you call them, molesters or whatever, that would kidnap somebody. You know, I mean, and another thing is like Guantanamo Bay. The people that were taken to Guantanamo were kidnapped. Some are real war criminals. They really are doing things. And the counter-kidnapping military people that we know of get these people. That's great. That's great. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, if you're not one of those war criminals, if you're not one of these people that do bad things, they are at war with you because they take it for granted you are a terrorist and they are going to abduct you. And that could be something as simple as being arrested. It could be something as simple in my world as I'm traveling, I'm going to all these different places and all this kind of stuff. It's easy enough for them to snatch me up. I'm out in the middle of the jungle. Nobody knows where I'm at and all this kind of stuff. It's easy enough for them to snatch me up. So these are all different ways of being kidnapped. But what they're doing is they're terrorizing you. And I even apply the same thoughts to extortion. Like I say, I've owned businesses all my life. There are either gangs. There's even, I hate to tell you this, there's even military, government type people that will do the same thing. They'll do extortion on you. You have to do things certain ways. If not, they're going to fine you, jail you. What do they call it? Street justice. They will meet you in the street somewhere and beat you up. If they want to, if you're just on that, if you're on that block and you are getting all the other business owners to stand strong, they will make an example out of you. This type of stuff really happens. I know, and you may not think it does, but it does. And this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. We, as men, I know, especially in the United States, they have a hard time understanding how to act like a man. They've been trying to breed it out of us. The laws have been changing so much. They don't want you to defend yourself, such as when I was in the convenience store when it was getting robbed, and I ended up shooting a guy and all that kind of crap. They tried to prosecute me. They tried to make me look like the bad guy for defending myself. And like I say, we got 911. Why do you need to shoot somebody? You can call 911. This kind of crap. So what I'm talking about is we as men, we have a responsibility. That's another reason why I came up with the three-man militia concept. And this really, the three-man militia is a counter-terror unit. It really is. And even the same thing applies to the three-man militia as it does to me or you as an individual. We may not have that support system like if we were on the government payroll. But when you're on the government payroll, they are telling you who these terrorists are, and you get your stuff ready and you go do your counter-terrorist stuff. The three-man militia is for you, your family, your friends, and your local community. In other words, we don't go out. The most we'll be doing is go to our house and get our equipment, and then we'll do our thing. And that is a type of counter-terrorist. And what it is, we are, and we've used the example of the shit hit the fan kind of situation, where you need to take care of your community and this type of stuff. Taking care of your community against what? Terrorists. That's what the whole idea is. These people cause terror to your wife, or your family, your friends, and your local community. That's what the three-man militia is. It is a type of a counter-terrorist unit. Okay. Also, as individuals, we have that responsibility also. And that is when you are getting mugged, when I say I train SWAT teams, and so I keep up with the SWAT team stuff. And SWAT teams now are being used to enforce warrants, and they're used a lot. Now, if you're a bad guy, they're using that SWAT team to come either arrest you or serve warrants or whatever it is they're going to do. If they are at the wrong house and you haven't done anything wrong, that SWAT team is a terrorist, a terror unit that's coming in. That's why a lot of times you see my videos when I talk about weapons, when I talk about tactics, and you're thinking, well, boy, he's way off on that. Okay, well, the thing is, I had a gang come to my house too. So this stuff happens. I never had a SWAT team come to my house. And matter of fact, when I was training SWAT teams, I made it a point to tell the local police, don't send your SWAT team to my house. If you want me, you call me, I'll come into the police department, and then y'all jump on me and you got me. But don't come to my house, because I consider you a terrorist unit when you come to my house. It's the same thing when I am stopped on the side of the road, when I'm driving down the road and they stop me. It's the same thing. Here I can't tell if they're police, bandits, rebels. I don't know who it is. So I consider them terrorists until we can get through this situation. And because they may want to start, like I say, taking whatever I have, and that's type of a terror. When it's TARDIS, there's all kinds of things that would qualify as being terrorists. What separates me from the let's call them a professional, okay, and that's because they work for the government, they're working under orders. What separates me from them is I'm working under morals. The same thing that I talk about on the three-man militia is the same way I live my life. And so that's why when you see all the strange tactics I use, the weapons I use, and this type of stuff, you might think, well, that's really crazy. It is, unless I'm confronted with terrorists. And I say, I don't do anything wrong. So when people are going to use force on me, I consider them terrorists. And you should have that same attitude. As a man, you have, well, if you're as a husband, you have that responsibility to your wife to protect her from, I don't care what kind of terrorists you come up against. One or two muggers or whatever. It doesn't make any damn difference. That's one reason why y'all don't travel the same places I travel. You don't want to deal with the possibility of maybe facing terror type situations. But that just because you don't travel the same roads as I do doesn't mean that you can't get the mindset and prepare for this type of stuff. The reason I'm even talking about this is, like I say, we're getting to the point now in the United States that we used to be looked at as strong people. We the people were strong. Nobody wanted to mess with us. Now, the world looks at us as wimps. And I look at you like wimps also. Because like I say, everybody's worried about liability. And we're right back to the 911. Nobody wants to take the steps it takes to be a counter-terrorist. Now, you can go on and stretch it to just using intimidation and stuff like that, but I am not talking about that. I am talking about the violent type terrorism. And like I say, that's why when I think about the Muslims going to shoot up the United States, they will. And they're preparing to do it now. Our government is allowing all this to be like that. The federal government. The state governments aren't. That's why the state governments have been passing so many concealed carry laws, open carry laws, weapons. A lot of states, if the weapon is made in that state, you don't need to sign for it. You know, it's your weapon. You know, the states are taking steps. Now, you have to understand what these steps are for, and you have to be willing to do the physical act of counterterrorism. I know a lot of you are thinking, well, I'm going to carry it concealed, and then I say I'll be the hero and stuff like that. Well, it doesn't really turn out like that. Like I say, I got into my shooting in that convenience store, and it was gangs. It was just normal gangs. This wasn't a religious type situation, just gangs. And after I shot the shit out of them, then they came to my house. And so, like I said, there was a dozen, 15 of them, whatever it was. And in other words, they wanted to make an example out of me. Now, it's going to be the same thing when you start messing with religious stuff. I even hate, you notice I don't even talk about religion, because I'm not a religion kind of guy. Man-made religions, I'm against all of them. And the reason is, they're no different than the government. Government employees, they control their government employees to do this. You're on our payroll. We want you to go out and terrorize. Oh no, go kill these people or snatch these people up and stuff like that. Okay, it's the same type of thinking is done in the religious stuff. That's why I'm not in favor of man-made religions, because they get people, man-made religions get people to think if they don't think our way, then they are a threat. And some religions, they will get crazy, and then they want to start killing off the other religions. I know. You Christians are saying, hey, Mike, you're way off. Okay. Don't forget the Crusades, you know, so that's what I'm saying. Even the Christians killed off people that don't believe the way they do. So, that's why everything you see on all my videos, everything is based on individuals taking personal responsibility. And that same thing goes for being a counter-terrorist. That's why I don't feel sorry for the men that don't stand up for themselves, their women, or their families. I don't feel sorry for them at all. And that's the reason, another reason why I've been pushing the three-man militia concept. This is a way that individuals can take some kind of stand, get some kind of self-confidence in their own abilities. You don't have to be a wimp like our government wants us to be. And when I say our government, I mean that covers every government in the world. Every government in the world wants to take care of their people. The only way they can take care of the people is make their people wimps. Make their people so gutless and weak that they can't stand for themselves. That's the only reason why the government can get in and start taking control of everything. So, the main idea is, like I say, use your morals, strengthen your morals, and from that, you can do anything. I've got the videos out already showing you the stuff that you need to do, tactics, and this type of stuff. I've got memory sticks and DVDs that goes in more detail. But you don't need that stuff. You can take martial arts classes, and not so much as a sport, but learn certain moves. You don't need to know a lot of moves, you need to know something. Because you have to have a plan when the terrorists are at your door. Whether your door is in your house, or you're in a theater somewhere, or wherever you're at, you can take that personal responsibility, and that is called being a counter-terrorist. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.